Alrighty, all. This will be volume 6 in the Volatility Master Settings series. Just been a couple of little changes and updates that I want to go through with you. Alrighty, so let's check out the settings here first. And one thing I wanted to mention was if you have your risk percentage, your risk per trade set at 1%, and your pair max loss set at, let's say, 0.9%, the software isn't going to take out any trades simply because there isn't enough max loss left to take out a 1% risk trade. If you have your max loss set at 1%, you also may not get a trade simply because once it counts all the fees and that, it's still not quite enough max loss for a 1% risk trade. So you're going to have 1.1 at least in order for the software to trade. And this is what I'm using when I'm trading gold all day, is 1% risk and 1.1% max loss setting. Now, what that'll mean is if the first trade of the day is a losing trade, I'm going to run out of max loss and it's going to stop trading until the next day. That is the way that, through use and back testing, I've decided works best, at least for me. With my US 30 open trading, I'm actually using, let's say, a 1% risk. I'm using a 2.2% max loss, meaning that I need to have 2 trades in a row lose in order to run out of my max loss. And also, just through use and back testing, that's what I've determined works best. I guess because we're trading the 1 minute time frame directly after our volatile event, sometimes the first breakout may occur before the main trend that's going to continue occurs. So you might get a breakout sort of in the wrong direction. That might be a losing trade. And then the next one you catch the actual trend that's going to continue and make you the money. So I need that extra trade. Makes it work a lot better on the US 30 as well. And probably I would say if you're trading any pair directly after any red folder news event, I would suggest possibly allowing 2 trades to lose before you run out of max loss. If you didn't want to risk 2.2%, of course, you could just put in leave it at 1.1, but change your risk percentage down to 0.5. Same thing, smaller trades, but still allowed to have 2 losing ones before it all stops working on you. All right, so previously, up until the update that I've just done today that nobody actually has at the moment, if you ran out of max loss, the only way you would know about it, other than the fact that you're not getting any trades, would be to come down to these tabs at the bottom of the MT4 and click on the experts one. And that's going to display everything that's occurring with the software. So, for example, here I've loaded new Volatility Master onto the gold pair on the 1 minute time frame, and it's telling me when this software is going to expire. So that's a way for you to know when your software subscription is expiring as well. Also, when your software does expire, it's going to come up in really big red letters, software expired, so you will know. And when that happens, it won't take out any more trades. And just FYI, if that happens, if your software expires, it won't take out any more trades, but it will continue to manage any trades that you currently have open from the software. It's just a safety thing. Alrighty, what else? I've gotten off the subject here, but if your software expires, but you have paid your next year's subscription, you will still need to let me know so that I can send you the new version of the software, because the old version that you had has expired. You need an actual whole new software download so that it's no longer expired. So just so you know, make sure you do that. Alrighty, so if you do run out of max loss, you're going to get a message here saying not enough max loss left to trade, something like that, so that you will know. But what I have just done, which I'll show you through backtesting, is it now displays in red letters on the screen that you've run out of max loss, so that you'll be able to visually see easily to know, okay, I have an issue here, I've run out of max loss, so I'm not going to get any more trades today, or maybe I want to trade more today, so I need to change my settings, etc., etc. So let's just start off with backtesting, just so you can see what that looks like. This is my second or third attempt at making this little video, because last time I was doing this and it just kept taking winning trades. So I wasn't going to run out of max loss like that. But so we've just had a small win. But now the second trade is heading towards a stop loss. And as soon as it hit the stop loss, I now do no longer have, so I've lost $946. So 1% of this account is $1,000. So obviously I don't have enough max loss left to take out another trade. So it's telling me I'm close to max loss. You know, so that's what it does. All righty. Next thing on the agenda. So I have two new settings that you may or may not want to take advantage of. And this is the max range in points and the minimum range in points. So this is detailing the top and bottom of the initial trade range. So you can set it so that if, like at the moment, I've got the maximum range set at 20,000 points. I think the default is actually 50,000 points. That's just a really big high figure, so that it doesn't matter how big the range is, it's still going to trade. But you might want to reduce that. So let's say, for example, you've got your max stop loss set at 650, your stop loss set at 100, so 650 plus 100, and then my breakout might be another 20, so that'll be 750, 770. I might set my maximum range at 700 or 750, 770, something like that, so that the stop loss is always going to be above or below the range. Because if the range was 1,000 and my maximum stop loss is at 650, it's still going to place a trade, but the stop loss will be at 650 points instead of below or above the range where it should really go. So that's another way of making sure that no matter how big the range is, you're always going to have if the range is too big, it's not going to place a trade. That was just one use I was thinking of. And I've also got a minimum range points. I haven't really played with this yet, but there's a couple of uses that I have in mind for it. One, the range may just be, if the market has barely moved for a long time, the range may be really, really tiny, meaning the market barely has to move one way and it would hit your stop loss. So at the moment, like prior to adding that setting, as long as the top of the range was above the bottom of the range, it would trade. But that still meant that it could be only a tiny, tiny range. So like at the moment, personally, if the range is really tiny, I don't want it to trade. I haven't played, I'm not using it live yet. I need to back test it and everything. But another use for it would be, if the market's trending and then the market consolidates for a while, that's always a good sign that the next breakout is going to be significant. So if it's trended fairly high and then it consolidates, that's a very good sign that the next breakout could be significant. Also, that consolidation could constitute like an order block type setup. So that's one way you could use that, and requiring the market to have a you know a minimum range as well. But that's what those settings are. But by default, the max range is set really high and the minimum range is at 0. So essentially they're not being used. But that's those settings there that I have just added. What else do we need to go through today? I'm not exactly setting oriented, but I'll add it in here anyway because everyone's going to watch the setting video, and this is a little important. Is I generally get everybody that purchases software set up and trading just on the US 30 to start with. Why? One, it's generally a fairly consistent, profitable trading setup strategy, the US 30 Open. It's also very, very hands-free because the US 30 Open occurs every night, 5 days a week at the same time. And this is an important one, starting when the US 30 does open, there generally isn't any red folder news events that are going to affect it for the 3-hour period we're trading. All right, so, and that means you don't have to worry about red folders. There is the odd exception, the FOMC red folder event is one possibly to be concerned about a little bit. Nothing terrible though, but that sometimes does coincide in that 3-hour trading window. So if you notice that and you want to be very conservative, you may not want to trade that night. But generally, I don't personally worry about it. I just let my US 30 trade, stock standard settings every night, 5 nights a week. If, however, you're trading something else, let's say, for example, gold, and you're just using those all-day gold settings, and not necessarily, like by all day, I mean just starting at a set time and not actually coinciding it with any red folder or volatile news event, then you do need to be concerned about when red folder events occur. You know, most, like not all red folders really, but the really volatile ones, CPI, NFP, FOMC, PPI, I guess, the ones that are going to incur a risk of slippage, those are the ones that you probably should avoid having trades open. Now, trading gold the way I am, because gold is a US pair, then starting in the middle of the Asian session, generally it's finished trading before any US dollar red folder events occur. So that's nice and simple. Another one that I've been using is pound US dollars, but you will find there are quite often some GBP, some Great British Pound red folder events that do occur during that trading period. So you need to be careful when those red folder events occur. So just a quick recap, setting it up as we do for everyone when we start trading US 30 Open is easy, safe and consistent. And you don't have to worry about red folder news events. But if you're going to be trading any other pairs at any other times, then there is the potential for red folder news events to interfere and cause higher risks. So, you know, just if you're doing that, you will preferably want to keep an eye on economic calendar, and you know you may want to adjust your start times depending on what red folder events that are occurring on that pair that day. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. I shall talk to you all again soon. Have a good day.